Hey, web designers, do you want to know how to get clients when you don't have a portfolio? Well, then you are going to want to definitely pay attention to this video if you are a web designer who wants to know how to get clients when you don't have a portfolio. Because, and this is like a very controversial opinion that I have apparently, that you absolutely can get web design clients when you do not have a portfolio. And so I think that we make it out to be way harder than it is, right? And we do this regardless of, whether we're web designers or not. When we're running our business, it's like, oh, we have to have everything perfect before we could make an offer or before we could tell someone how we can help them. And for web designers, this manifests as like, I have to have this gorgeous portfolio of at least 5 websites where I have built them for other people. And until I have some magic number of websites in my portfolio, I am not allowed to call myself a web designer. How many of you, if you're watching this live or if you're watching on the replay, can resonate with the thought that you have to have a portfolio before you can either book a new client, charge that much for web design, before you can call yourself a web designer? I would love to know in the comments how many of you that resonates with, because this is the number one challenge that I see when people are starting their web design businesses, is that they're like, well, how do I get clients, Shannon, when I don't have a portfolio? So I'm going to break that down for you today. The first thing that I'm going to say, you're going to be like, what? Tell people you're a web designer. That is like the easiest way to get clients, you guys. Like, I know it sounds so silly, but if you're just like, oh, hey, I'm a web designer, or I build websites for whoever you build websites for, or whatever it is that you do, when people ask you what you do, tell them you have no idea how many clients there are out there, how many people, business owners, there are out there who need someone really good to help them, So that's the simplest answer. It's like, how do you get clients without a portfolio? Well, you tell people that you're a web designer, and they're like, oh my gosh, you are, please help me. That last guy, like my guy ditched me. This person ghosted me. It's truly the easiest way. Now, that's like the gimme. That's not why we're here. That's not like that's the answer. Bye-bye. I'm ending this live. No. So one of the things that the problem that I see with people believing that they have to have a portfolio to get clients is that a portfolio does nothing to tell your clients what the experience of working with you is going to be like. You could go to a web designer that has like the most beautiful portfolio in the world and not have any idea that, like, on the back end of their business, it's a hot mess. They don't know how to manage projects. They can't get things done on time. They can't follow through. So a client cannot tell by looking at the websites that you've built for other clients, or that you've even built, whether or not you are the right person for the job. They might be able to say, hey, I like that aesthetic, but it really does not help them determine whether or not you are going to be the person that they should trust with thousands and thousands and thousands of their dollars, or that they should trust with their business. And so, like I said at the beginning, like this is like a controversial opinion I have, that people have argued with me that, like, a portfolio is the only way to prove that you know how to build a website. And that is so not the case. And so what I see people do is they will go and build websites for friends and family for free or super cheap to get experience and to build their portfolio. And then they end up with a portfolio full of websites that they don't even really like match up with who they want to be working with. They'll have like if you're like me, they'll have like an asphalt company and a realtor and like all these random businesses that don't really give the client that you want to work with any idea of the fact that you are actually capable of building what they need and want for their business. So what I tell new web designers is, one, make sure you know who your dream clients are, and then build your website for that dream client. So if you want to design like dreamy, beautiful things for spiritual business coaches, make your website look like what you want to build for your clients. Make it be like the best like design that you are so super proud of, that you can point to as, here's an example of something that I could build for you. If you like this style, like here's an example of something that I can build for you. Model your own website after what you would build for a client. You can absolutely build a demo site for a fictional client. There is no rule that says your portfolio has to be made up of paying clients. But I would also say to you, don't go work for someone for free when you could build your own demo site for your dream client and show a dream client in a certain niche with a certain type of business, here's exactly strategically what I would build for you. It's not about the design. It's about like, here's exactly how I will help you take your ideal client from stranger to customer with this demo site that I built. So you can use your own website. You can build a demo site. You can call yourself a web designer before you have gotten paid to build a site for a client. You do not need a portfolio of X number of sites to show clients in order to prove that you're legit or that you have the credibility to work with them. Another thing that you can do is take them behind the scenes of your process and show them, walk them through how your process is. Put a lot of educational content on your website. All of those things help you build credibility without working for free. Because it's not like the barrier in your mind is not the portfolio. It's that, how do I get people to trust me and believe that I'm credible? And you have this idea that like, in order to be taken seriously, you have to have a portfolio. And that is absolutely not true. There are so many other ways that you can indicate credibility. That's what we teach our clients how to do inside of our training, is how to create a whole end-to-end process that establishes credibility and trust, and have conversations with your clients in a way that helps them understand that, like, yes, I actually can build you the website that is going to help you grow your business. And yes, I actually will follow through. And yes, like, I am the right person for you. You can trust me with thousands of dollars. And you seeing a picture of a site that I built for someone 3 years ago only shows you like, here's an example of something I designed. It doesn't show you all of the other things that people need to know in order to make the decision to work with you at that level. So how to get web design clients without a portfolio is, you have to believe that you are absolutely worthy of taking on a client without having a portfolio to show them. And so if your mindset is a little whack on that type of stuff, I would love, love, love to help you with that. Please grab your free seat in a workshop that I'm doing at the end of the month on April 29th. It's a pricing mindset workshop for web designers. You can go to shannonmattern.com/pricing. It is a totally free workshop. There is no pitch at the end. I'm literally just talking to you about pricing, because I am so passionate about you understanding all of the ways that you are holding yourself back in your web design business, and believing that you have to have a portfolio in order to call yourself a web designer, in order to get a paying client, is holding you back from getting a paying client. So I would love to help you with that. Please go save your seat for that pricing workshop, shannonmattern.com/pricing. If you're here watching me live, I would love to answer any questions that you have about your web design business. Like, what is holding you back from going for it? What are the big struggles that you're having? Go ahead and put that in the comments. I would love to help you through that while we're here. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and ask me any questions that you have. There's, like I said, like, this opinion that I have about portfolios can sometimes really get under other people's skin, about like, how could you possibly say that you're legit if you don't have a portfolio? It's like the outcome that I am producing for my clients, yes, it like comes in the form of a website, but there's so much more that we do as web designers to lead our clients through the process of designing and building their website that cannot even be captured in an image of a site that was built on my website, so you could see what it looks like, right? And so yes, eventually, as you start to work with your dream clients, you'll put that work on your site, the things that you really love, that you're really proud of, so that you can point your clients to that. But you don't need that to get started. There are so many other ways to connect with people, to let them know how you can help them, and to build that relationship and build that trust than to have a portfolio on your website. And just having a portfolio on your website doesn't mean people are going to find you and look at it and book consultations with you. So we have to go about this another way. So if you have a little bit of imposter syndrome going on, if you want help with your pricing, if you want help with your pricing mindset, please go to shannonmattern.com/pricing. Save your seat for that free workshop. It's happening on April 29th. It's happening live. Come with all your burning pricing mindset questions, because I'm going to help you go from thinking that you can't charge that much to helping you understand why you can and should charge premium pricing for your web design services, and how you can do that and still serve clients at all different levels. So definitely go save your seat for that, and leave me a comment if you're watching on the replay. Let me know that you're watching on the replay. Ask me your questions. Seriously, like, please, please, please. I love nothing more than to help you overcome the obstacles that you have to growing your web design business. If there's a topic that you would like me to cover while I'm going live over these next couple of weeks, let me know. If there's something that you're like, how do I get clients to give me content? How do I, whatever, like, ask. I have all kinds of ideas lined up for you this week, but I want to know what you want to know, and I will break it down for you here on Facebook. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys here same time tomorrow with, I don't know, a mystery topic. It'll be really good, I promise, about something that's going to help you move forward in your web design business. So I'll either pick, or I'll pick from your questions. So Joanna says, I'd like to design the website, post pages, etc., articles, contact forms, plugins, but I want to have an assistant do the tech stuff, and I would do the sales and give a commission to the assistant to complete. Yeah, so that's awesome, and that can happen when you are charging sustainable pricing, right? So that's one of the things where it's like, oh, this is such a good topic, Joanna. Like, I could talk about this. I could talk about this for hours. So when that's like your intellectual property, right? How you design a website, how you have all of that stuff set up, that's your process. That's your intellectual property. That is where the value comes in. And we'll talk about this too more on that pricing workshop. But that's where the value comes from. It's not from you actually pointing and clicking your way through it. So you can charge really well for, you can price that and charge very sustainably because of the outcome that it gets for your client, but you don't have to be the one doing the work. But in order for you to thrive and still make what you need to make in your own business, in your own web design business, you need to be charging appropriately for that. One of the mistakes that I made very early on was getting to the point where I was maxed out and hiring someone to do that work for me. But then basically after I was getting done paying them and the time that I was spending project managing everything, I was basically making no profit on those projects with all of my expenses and all of that, because I wasn't charging enough. And so we have to make sure that we are structuring our offers and our pricing and everything so that we can outsource the rest of that to an to an assistant to complete. And you've got your system structured on the back end so that it's like a repeatable thing for them. Because again, like, and we'll talk more about this in the pricing workshop, that like the value of your projects is not tied to how much time it takes you or it takes an assistant. I was just talking about this with someone on one of our coaching calls today about like the value of the outcome of your work has nothing to do with how long it takes you. So it's in your best interest to make it go as quickly as possible for you and for whatever team member you have. And your client wants a quick turnaround time too. So the faster you can turn it around for them, the more valuable it is. So this is like one of those pricing mindset shifts that we'll dig deeper into, is that like, just because it doesn't take you that much time doesn't mean that it's worth less or that you should charge less. So yeah, such a good question and concept to talk about when it comes to our pricing and making sure that we're pricing sustainably and that we're structuring our web design business to untie ourselves from the time, right? There's lots of different ways that you can do that. Adding a team member on to take that stuff off your plate once you've got consistent clients coming in a sustainable and a scalable, repeatable process. And that's one path to go. And then the other path to go is like digital products, courses, and different things like that. That's what we help our clients do. It's kind of walk this path of getting to the point where like this piece is in place. Now it's time for the next piece and the next piece and the next piece, so that all the way you're kind of like putting everything together in a really sustainable way for you too, time-wise, right? Because like we get burnout too when we don't do things in the right order, because we're trying to like, we're taking time away from one certain things to do other things when it's not the right time to do that in our business. So such a good conversation. If you guys are watching on the replay, you have questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those for you. I'll be here live tomorrow with another topic. I love talking about like the imposter syndrome that we feel a lot of times as web designers, and it manifests itself in so many different ways. So yeah, we'll be back here at our Natia. That is a good one. Okay. Do you have any recommendations for finding your first client? That is what we will talk about tomorrow. Not to leave you with a cliffhanger for today, but we've already been here for about 20 minutes. So tomorrow's live will be all about finding your first client. How's that? So join me back here tomorrow, 5:30, and we'll talk about finding your first client and yeah. And then if you have any, I was like, what else was I going to say there? I totally drew a blank. We'll go through all of that on tomorrow's live. I'll give you my 3 best tips for finding your first client. So that's all I got for you today. I'll see you right here tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern. Bye, everyone.